Girl, what? Hello, hello, hello. I'm waiting on my other babies to pull up, so I really didn't have anything to go live about, but then I heard God say, do you trust me? And I was like, yeah, and he told me to go live, so I'm like, okay. And I looked up, and a bank in front of me is called Trust, and it's just so funny because God said, do you trust me? So, honestly, I'm out here right now with no topic, no nothing, just God telling me to go, and I think it's for a reason. I think someone needs it. I don't know who, I don't know what, I don't even know why, but okay. We was talking about, me and my friend Brooke, we were talking about God being the provider. Hey everybody, I'm sorry, I am really sleepy. We were just talking about how God is a provider, and I was just going over just last year how I watched God provide in ways that I did not even deserve, but God literally would put his hand on you and everything attached to you will win. Everything attached to you will win. And that's not just a song. That's literally a promise. Everything attached from you will win when you have God and when you have the favor of God on your life. And it always takes me back to, it always takes me back to Joseph. How Potiphar, the slave master, saw him and he saw that the favor was with Joseph. And it's just so oxymoronic when every time I read it, it's just like, how can a slave have favor? Like, how can a slave master see another slave and say he has favor on him? I need to get him in my house. I need to get him in my house because the favor on him would trickle into my house. It baffled me. Every time I read it, I'm just like, you had to have some good eyes to see favor on a slave. Like, you had to have some real good eyes. So every time I see, every time I read Potiphar and Joseph, I'm sitting here like, what did Joseph have on him that Potiphar was like, yeah, that slave, I want that one right there. Like, I want that one. He got the favor of God on him. Ain't he a slave? That's just, it always baffles me. I was fine before I got on here. I was fine. Now I'm yawning every 2 seconds. But I always wonder that. But then I wonder about us, like, right? Like, what is it about us that God sees and he's like, yep, you. Yep, you. You got it. You mean me that's on welfare, me that's dead broke, me that's addicted, me that's in domestic violence, me that's broken, me that's raped, me that's suicidal, me, God? You coming and getting me? And God's like, yeah, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. You don't understand who you are just yet, but in a little while, it's going to make sense. As a matter of fact, when I get off this, I got to make a video on when I saw that. Because in a little bit, it's going to make sense. In a little while, it's going to make sense. And so God is saying he doesn't care how broken you perceive yourself. He sees you as favorable. He sees you as anointed. He sees you as his own. And everyone around you can see. And if you look back over your life, you will see that some people hated you or some people were jealous and envious of you when you had absolutely nothing. And you're like, I don't understand why y'all upset with me when I don't got nothing. You over here hating on me. You over here being jealous of me, but I don't got nothing. But in actuality, you do. In actuality, you got the favor which cannot be bought. You have something that cannot be bought. And they don't understand why God is choosing you. They don't understand why God is choosing you. So now they mad and they big mad and they trying to talk bad on your name. They're trying to throw dirt on you. And I remember when I was out there in the world, women would try to sleep with my men thinking that they had the favor when you could take him. But the favor still lies with me. And if you can take my man, he ain't my man. He yours and for everybody else. And the same way you get someone is the same way you gonna lose them. I don't think people understand that. That's neither here or there. But that's what it is. So many people will try to do whatever they can to get the favor that is on you. They will try to do anything to get the favor that is on you. No matter what it is, they will try to sabotage your job. They would try to do whatever they got to do to try to get where you are. Then they would get the man, they would get the job, and they couldn't hold it, and it didn't give them the gratification like they thought it was going to give them. You thought by getting the man, taking my man, that's what you thought. You thought by taking him, it was going to make you have that favor. No, you just inherited a problem. And actually you inherited a problem. You thought by getting me fired or taking the job, it was going to get you that favor. But you just got another job and another problem. You can't handle what God had gave me to handle because I make it look good. You can see the struggle on you. I make it look effortless, but you don't. And it's just crazy. It's just like the coveting. It's like thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's things. They're coveting your lifestyle. They want what you have, but they don't have no idea what it took for you to get that way. They don't understand what you had to do to get there. And you think about other people and they're looking at all these millionaires' houses and this and that, but you don't know what they're sacrificing to keep that. You don't know what they got to go through to keep that. You don't know how many you see in these housewives and this and that. And they make it look so glamorous, but you don't understand that their husband don't come home at night. They have barely any communication. They got to be penciled into their husband's schedule. So it make it look so good. They make it look so good, but it really isn't. They're really suffering in silence, but they have nothing else to show. So they're going to show you the luxury side of it, but not the dark, crying in the dark, hoping that their husband come home, talking to the sideline on there while he making sure he take care of the sideline real good. And they barely get to talk to their husband. They send their kids off to boarding school, so they ain't got nobody to talk to at all. You don't know somebody's private life. All you see is what they want you to see. I'm transparent for a reason. I show y'all my life for a reason because everybody wants to make it look so good. The pictures with me and my fiance, the one I just put up, with me in the club and him in the club or whatever, and we both look half naked. That's how we used to live. We used to live like that. He was a dope dealer. I was a stripper. Like, we were all of these things. This is how I used to live. And it took 15 years for us to finally get us to where we are now. And even now, he's not here because he made some bad decisions. Nothing is beautiful. Everything has to go through some things, but you grow through it to grow through it. You have to grow. I'm not trying to make a pretty picture for anybody. This has been 15 years of struggle. And if you want it, you work for it. You fight for it. If he's worth it, if she's worth it, you fight for it. If you love each other and it works out, then you fight for each other. You don't just give up when it gets rough. If you do, that's fine. Then go where God wants you to go. But God always led us back together. And I'm not here to paint a pretty picture for anybody. We have some great pictures. And you will look at us and say, oh, I want that. But do you really want it? Do you know how many times we broke up? I showed up to the trap house with a hatchet in my hand, knocking in the door because you got me messed up. Like, it was crazy. And then it became beautiful. Once we realized, and we had to grow up. I was 23. And I'm 37 now. I was 23. I didn't know anything, but you got me messed up and everybody can get these hands. Like, you ain't finna have me out here looking crazy. Like, nah. It wasn't all beautiful. We had some beautiful moments. We had the birthing of our kids and custody of his other kids. Like, we grew together. It was literally us growing up. And he would tell everybody, that's my best friend. I'm his best friend. He's my best friend. Because we had to grow up together. And that's how it was. And it was fighting. It was ugly. And then it got beautiful. And then it got beautiful. And I'm not telling everybody, oh, go do this. I'm telling everybody this is what works for us. And you have to stop idolizing other people in their lives and thinking that I can go get this person and this and it's going to be so beautiful. You're going to have 6 months of beauty because you're meeting their representative. You're going to have 6 months of that, even a year of that. You're going to have that. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to go through something. Everything takes time. Everything in life takes time. Everything. Even raising your kids. The first couple of months when you get them home, they smell so good, and then they go in and have explosive diapers on you. Then they talk back and don't listen. Then they get in trouble. Everything in life takes time. It's nothing beautiful as a picture. A picture is a still moment in time. You are ever changing and you are always moving and evolving. That is life. You're always going to be evolving. So I need you not to look at other people's lives and be like, yeah, I want that. Yeah, I want that. Because do you really? Do you really? Do you really? It's hard. Life is hard. And if you look at me now, you look at some pictures like, oh my God, she's beautiful. I went through days where I hated my body. I went through days where I had postpartum depression. I went through days where I felt like I was ugly and this and that. And, you know, you go through so much, but you grow through it. You're going to grow through everything. Everything in life you're going to grow through. It's only a time. It's a time for everything. It's a time for everything. So the reason why I'm so raw and so authentic is because I don't have time to sell y'all a picture. I don't have time to sell y'all a perfect pastor, because I'm not a perfect pastor. I'm not a traditional pastor. I'm not none of that. I go through things. I have up days. I have down days. I have days where I don't feel like preaching, but I'm still going to do it anyway because God told me that I'm going to do it. I have days where people only text me their problems. I have days where people only text me for money. I have days where no one ever asks me, am I okay? I have those days. Most of the time it's all the time. But each day I don't ever take for granted the position that God has gave me, because he knows that I can handle it. And he's giving you guys the things that you guys can handle too. It's going to be days where you're going to get tired of people asking you for things. But just know that they're asking you because you have the answers. And if you don't have the answers that day, God will give you the answers. You know how to go get the answers. And they're looking up to you because you are somebody to look up to. You know how to reach God on a different level because you struggled, you cried, you've waited, you've done all of these things. And that's the reason. Get out this car playing. And that is the reason why God is doing what he's doing for you. That is the reason why God has single-handedly chosen you. That is the reason. You know how to get to God. You know how to go to God. You know how to fast when times get hard. You know how to pray when times get hard. You know how to give praise. You know how to do all of these things. This is why God has chosen you for such a time as this. And you're not finna sugarcoat nothing for nobody. I don't sugarcoat my life. I don't sugarcoat my past life, because you can't condemn me from something that God has already freed me from and forgiven me for. But if you hide and you start saying that you don't have sin and that you've never had to struggle, you never had this and that is when people can start coming in and condemning you and start convicting you, when you start lying and living a life of a lie. I tell you that I'm from the hood for a reason. I tell you that I am not the traditional preacher for a reason. I am street. I'm still trying to get this. I worked in a corporate world, and sometimes I have to remember that's where I am. I don't know how to be anything other than myself. I'm emotional. I love too hard sometimes. And I don't like to be crossed. If you cross me, you cross me, and I never deal with you again. I forgive you, but you will never have access to me ever again. And that's just who I am as a person. And a lot of people don't know how to put you in a category. And a lot of people don't want to put their hands on you because you're not the typical or the stereotypical kind of pastor. And so a lot of people are like, you're a loose cannon, but you're real. And the second they start coming out and be real, they can start having those scandals. Because you can't scandalize me, because I'm going to tell you I did it. I did it, and I did it well. Yeah, I did it, and I did it well. Will I ever do it again? No. No, I will never do it again. But when I did it, I was good at it. And that's it. So anyway, I don't know why God had me on here, but my little kids are getting rowdy. They're getting really rowdy, so I'm going to have to get off in a second. But it's like you have to free yourself from other people's perspective of you. When you free yourself from other people's perspective or expectation of you, you can then be freed, and God can start giving you that favor that he so desperately wants to give you. He so desperately wants to give you that kind of favor, but he don't want to give it to you. And then you go and you are like a robot to other people, and you're going to be a robot to other people. And when I tell you I trust in God no matter what. I don't know who, what, when, where, or how most of the time. I don't know half of the time where I'm going to get anything. All I know is my God said that he's a provider. And we want to talk about this wedding that's coming up. It's October 15th. And how we're going to get it paid for? I don't know. What's going to happen? I don't know. All I know is he said set a date. I picked the date. Voila, magic. It's all in God's hands. Everything is always in God's hands. And some people might be like, girl, you tripping. No, it's all in God's hands. Everything is in God's hands. I don't care. I don't care if we get married on a beach with 2 people. I don't care. It's for us. It's for, as he would say, it's for me. He's like, this is your day. This is about you. This is about you. I just want to show you that I love you. I just want to show you that I love you. That's all I want to do. I want to show you that I do anything for you. That's all he keeps saying. And I'm just like, I just want to have my brother walk me down the aisle and my mama be there. That's it. Of course, I'm going to go live. But that's it. So whatever God has, however God has it planned out, is however he has it planned out. I don't worry about little things because God is our provider. And the second we start living like God is our provider and we start giving him the things to provide for, because men are like this. Men love solving problems. That's what men love doing. They want to be needed and they want to be a problem solver. God is like, are you going to let me solve that problem? Are you going to let me solve that problem? Give it to God. Give God all your problems and let him solve it. God is like, I'm your father. I am your waymaker. I am your provider. Let me solve those problems. Give God the problem so he can solve it. God is the problem solver. And the second you start giving him the problem, the second you start getting your answers and your solutions. I had to find that out the hard way. Because I was the woman that was always independent. You know, Webby. INDE. Come on. You know, I used to be rapping that. You know what I'm saying? But God is saying, like, are you going to let me solve the problems? Are you going to let me do it? And even in my relationship, he was like, Lynn, are you going? I'm like, well, I just had to make sure it was done. Because growing up, I didn't have a father. We always had to make sure it was done. My mama worked 3 jobs. And it was 5 of us. So I always had to make sure they were taken care of, hairbrush, cooked. You know, just walk them to school, just make sure everything was always done. So I was a mama before I was a mama. And no one ever like really took care of me. So I don't know how to let you take care of me. I don't know how to let you provide for me, because what if you fall? Then we both fall. But if a man is the head of the household, I have to let him lead. And it took me a long time to get that in my head, because I don't know how to give you the bills. I don't know how to trust in you. I don't know how to just, did you pay the cable bill? Like, did you pay the lights? I don't know how to do that. I didn't know how to give you my bills, because they're my bills. And if they don't get paid, then I'm out and my kids are out. Like, I don't know how to do that. And it began to, like, it was a trusting factor. And if I trust him like I say I trust him, if I tell him he's the man of the house, if I tell him all of these things, but I'm taking the opportunity for him to do that away from him, then I'm not being a submissive wife. I'm not being, a trusting woman. I'm not being any of those things. I'm taking away his opportunity at being that provider, that protector, the head of the household. And I didn't know how to do that, because if you mess up, we're in the dark. If you mess up, we're homeless. And I got me. I got my kids. I got us. I can't trust you to have us the way I know that I have us. But I have to let the reins go. If I want him to be that man, LaBoy, if I want him to be that man, then I have to let him be that man. And that means to let the reins go. That means to let the reins go and let him be that man. To know that he will not do anything to hurt me, that he won't do anything to hurt my children, that he will provide a household for us, that he will provide the lifestyle for us, that he will be that man of God that he's supposed to be, and that I come right under him, that we are both in the same household and we're both on the same thing. But it's some things that he can solve that I can't solve. And it's a way that he can talk to the boys that I can't get to the boys. It's a way that my daughter acts with him that she doesn't act with me. And it's very hard for me to let go. But it has to be let go so the man can be back to where he's supposed to be. And I can be right there under him. And it's a very hard thing to do, especially when you've never saw it done. And it's always been you. But God is saying that he's about to take that away from you, and you can now relax. And you can be that beautiful woman that you need to be. And he can be that provider and that protector that he is and that he's supposed to be. And God is saying you can breathe now. My God, I'm not going to get emotional. God is saying that you can breathe now. You don't have to worry about where your help is going to come from. You don't have to worry about where the bills is going to come from and none of that. God is saying, I'm giving it to you. I'm taking it away, and he's going to take on that burden, and you can breathe now. For the first time in your life, you can breathe now. And God is saying, I'm giving you a gift. It says, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and he obtains favor from the Lord. And God is saying your household is about to be favored, and you can breathe now. And it's okay to trust. It's okay to trust. It's okay to love. It's okay to let go. It's okay. And I know that it's hard, because trust me, it's hard for me. Because I got me. And don't nobody got me like I got me. And don't nobody got my kids like I got my kids. But if I trust in God, then I trust in my marriage that's going to happen because it's God ordained. And I trust that God will always be there. He will never leave me nor forsake me. And it's okay. I can go to sleep and breathe and know that God has blessed this. God is always going to bless. And if you fall, guess what? A just man falls 7 times and rises back up 8. You can always get back up again. You can always get back up again. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's been very hard being independent and trusting in no one but God. And it's hard to let my last name go and take on someone else's. And first of all, his family hates me, but that's neither here or there because I don't care. I'm marrying him. And just know that it's us. It's us and then everybody else. It's our household and then everybody else. Our household and then everybody else. But God says, do you trust me? And I trust you. I trust you, God, like I can't even explain. God, I trust you. God, I trust you. God, I trust you. And you're not going to put me in no situation that's going to harm me or harm my children or anything like that. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get off because y'all not going to have me emotional on this TikTok app. That's what y'all not about to do. But God, I trust you. And I trust that I will be a great wife and he will be a great husband and he will obtain favor and the household will obtain favor and God is moving. And I can't help but be real because that's who I am. And yeah. Someone said you keep saying stuff about marriage because it's coming, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. And did I see this coming? We were talking on the phone and he was just like, oh, we're getting married. I'm like, the heck we are. He was like, no, we are. Pick a date. I was like, what? He's like, pick a date. Pick a date. That's it. That's all. We've been playing too long. You're my wife. You're my best friend. You're my everything. I don't want to go another day without you. I can't go another day without you. And I'm like, okay. All right. And see, God says, you're telling me that you're ready, but I'm giving you positions and oppositions and everything to say that you're ready. And now it's time. Don't you sit up here and talk about you ain't ready. No, you the woman for the job, right? Remember you said, I'm the woman for the job. All right. All right. Well, then be that woman for the job. Yeah. Yeah. It's time. It's time now. So anyway, I love you guys and I'm about to get my other kids. So, have a good night, and I just hope that this was a blessing to somebody, because this is me running my mouth. Okay, y'all.